Okay, so in this video we're going to take a look at making simple plots in Excel. We'll take a look at how you can do that and then think about what you might want to change on those on the default plots in order to improve the quality of the figure. So I'm just using an extracted day from your MCMWX data file, and this is 6th month, 12th day, so June 12th, and I've got all the records from midnight to midnight essentially. So if I'm interested in plotting a variable, say downwelling shortwave radiation, I can do that by highlighting the data. So you've noticed Excel's pretty smart in that you can highlight the title as well, and it will just include it as a title in your data. I'm going to just highlight the data itself. So I'm going to start with the top, click on it, hold down Shift, go all the way to the bottom, and then click so that I've highlighted everything in that column, all the data in that column that I want to plot. And so depending on your version of Excel, you have different ways of making a figure. In this version, if I go to Insert, I've got all these options, so I can make a column, or what we sometimes call a bar graph, line, pie chart. So we're going to make a line chart because that kind of makes sense with this data. So if I click line chart, this is what I end up with, and right up the top here I can change what color I want the line to be, which may be important. And so what you'll notice is on the left of the y-axis I have values that correspond to radiative flux in watts per meter squared. They're not titled, and that's something we'll want to deal with in a second, but the units look about right. But if we look at the bottom here, what you notice is just 1, 5, 9, 13, so on. This is not really tied to any really meaningful information. It's just the number of data point that it's plotted. So it's the first data point, that's the 5th, that's the 9th. So what we want to do to make this more understandable is we want to put down here some categorical or x-axis values that make sense. And so to do this, we're going to use end time, because it'll help show this trend over the day. So the way that we get in to access this is by right-clicking on the chart and going to select data. And so in here you're going to see that the data range, so that's the values that we want to plot on the figure, are highlighted right away. So we're using F from row 3 all the way to F row 98. You can see that that's right. Now if I want to change the name of this at this point, this is a good time to do it. So I can highlight here, click edit, and so I can change this series name. So I can call this downwelling shortwave. Radiation. And click OK. And back to this. And so where we're going to change these categorical axis labels is by going over to here where it says horizontal category axis labels, clicking edit, and so now it's asking us to select the range of data that we want to show up on the x-axis. So we're going to use end time, so I'm going to do the same thing as I did with the downwelling shortwave radiation. Select the first one, scroll down, hold down Shift, and select the end. So now we've referenced C column from rows 3 to rows 98. Click OK, and I'm going to click OK. And so what this should do now is give us labels in the bottom, axis labels in the bottom that correspond to time of day. Now the next thing we want to do is throw some labels on here, and there's a couple different ways to do it. One of the nice ways to do it is to go to the layout tab here and click axis titles, and so we have an option here of the horizontal axis or the vertical axis. So that should be pretty straightforward what they are. So I'm going to put one on the horizontal, and I'm going to make this time of day. And so I want to do the same thing with the vertical axis. So I want this to be a rotated title, and I'm going to edit this to say radiative, hopefully I spelled that properly, flux. And I'm going to include the units because that's really important, watts per meter squared. Okay, so at this point we have a little bit of a title. I can add some more into that so I can say the downwelling shortwave radiation for 12th of June 2013. Maybe maybe reduce the size a little bit so it all fits on one line. That looks much better. And now you always have this choice when you're making plots as whether or not you really need to have this legend entry. If you have two plots on the same chart, then it becomes really important to have it. If you only have one thing, well, you've already told in your title probably the user what it is you're plotting. So in this case, I'm just going to highlight the legend entry and delete it. And so now we get to spread this plot out a little bit better. So if I were to now want to export this into a Word document, I could just right click and I could say copy and then paste it into my Word document, and it would hopefully paste in the way it should look.